What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today, we will be answering a question that almost every single one of us has had at some point. When you walk through the doors of your school, do your constitutional rights walk in with you, or are they left at the door? To answer this, we have to look back at a landmark Supreme Court case from 1985. This court case completely rewrote the rules for students across America. This court case, none other than New Jersey versus T.L.O. At its core, this case is a massive showdown between student privacy and school safety, and it all boils down to one very important part of the U.S. Constitution, the Fourth Amendment. So what actually happened? What is this court case about? What actually went down? So let's set the scene. It's 1980 at a high school in New Jersey. A teacher walks into a bathroom, catches two young ladies smoking. Now, smoking was against school rules, of course, so the girls are marched right down to the vice principal's office. One of the girls admits it. The other girl, which she was a 14-year-old freshman, and only known in court documents by her initials, T.L.O. So that's where the T.L.O. comes from in the court case name. So T.L.O. gets, in the principal's office. She denies it. She says, "Oh, I wasn't smoking. I don't smoke. I don't do any sort of a thing." So the vice principal, of course, he doesn't buy it. Okay, he doesn't buy it. He doesn't believe her. He demands to see her purse. He opens it. He finds a pack of cigarettes. Right next to them, he spots rolling papers. Now, if anyone knows rolling papers, you know that those are for marijuana. That's for weed. It's for weed. Okay, so she was not only smoking cigarettes, but she was also smoking weed. So, of course, she lied. However, this court case comes down to, was this search constitutional? So the vice principal keeps searching through her purse. Okay, he dives deep into the purse. He also finds a pipe, plastic bags, a bunch of dollar bills, a list of students who owed her money. So not only was she smoking, she was also dealing. Okay, she was smoking and dealing. So the police are called, and T.L.O. faces delinquency charges in juvenile court. But here's where the story turns into a massive constitutional battle. Okay, T.L.O.'s lawyers argue that the vice principal had absolutely no right to dig through her purse. They argued that the evidence should be thrown out because the search violated the Fourth Amendment. So, the Fourth Amendment protects citizens against unreasonable searches and seizures, usually for the police to search your bag. They need a warrant and probable cause, meaning a very high standard of evidence that a crime was committed. So basically, T.L.O.'s lawyers argued that the vice principal and the school had no right to search her bag because there was no key substantial evidence that they were committing a crime. The only piece of evidence was the teacher who walked into the bathroom, who stated, "I saw them." It's a he said, she said type of situation. The teacher said that they were smoking, and T.L.O. stated she wasn't. There was no substantial evidence that could provide the school, under the Fourth Amendment, to give them the right to look through her personal belongings. So this is what T.L.O.'s argument brought to the table, to concur and to contradict the school's argument. So let's dive deep. Let's dive deeper and figure out what actually happened. So in a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court ruled against T.L.O. They said the search was legal, but the way they reached that conclusion changed everything. The court ruled that yes, public school students do have Fourth Amendment rights. School officials are not kings. They are representatives of the government. However, the court made a massive exception. They said a school environment requires order and safety. And because of this, they created a lower standard just for schools. Instead of needing probable cause, school administrators only need what is called reasonable suspicion. essentially, if a principal has any sort of moderate logical reason to believe that you are breaking a rule, they can search you. They don't need a warrant, and they don't need the police. In TLO's case, seeing the cigarettes gave the principal the right to look inside, and seeing the rolling papers gave him the right to look even deeper. It was a domino effect, essentially. Now, why is this so important? Okay, we study this case today because New Jersey versus TLO is the exact reason why school staff today can search your backpack, your locker, and in many cases, look through your cell phone. Now, if they have any sort of reasonable suspicion, they don't need probable cause. They don't need a substantial amount of evidence to look through your belongings. This court case now gives the school systems they only need now reasonable suspicion. So it established the delicate balancing act we live with every day, balancing our individual liberty with our collective safety. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this case, you guys think that the Supreme Court made the right call, or did they strip away too much privacy from the students? I believe that this court case, as a student myself, I believe that this court case did rule correctly. I agree with what the Supreme Court ruled with. However, based on all the information that I have provided, okay, let's dive deeper. So my website will provide the rest of the information needed. Thank you so much for tuning in today to today's episode. And we'll see you in the next one.